listening to the Agent Survival Guide podcast, a podcast for today's insurance agents. Informing, educating, empowering, improving the way you do business in an industry that's anything but static. In today's episode, do you have questions about NABIP's Medicare Advantage and Part D certification training? We've got answers. FAQs about NABIP Medicare certification, written by Roxanne Anderson. Before we get into our frequently asked questions about NABIP Medicare and compliance certification, we need to go back in time a little bit to when the certification had a different name, because it wasn't that long ago. The certification we're talking about today was formerly known as the NAHU Medicare Advantage and Part D certification training. The National Association of Health Underwriters, NAHU, rebranded as the National Association of Benefits and Insurance Professionals effective January 1st, 2023. And we call it NABIP for short because we love acronyms, obviously. Similar to our last episode on certification FAQs, Tina is joining me to ask the questions, and I will be answering. So thank you so much for joining me today, Tina.
Thanks for having me. We've got a great list of questions, around the same amount as last episode. So if you're ready.
Ready when you are.
All right, first question. What's the difference between NABIP and AHIP certification?
Great place to start, and we get this question a lot. Both meet the Medicare and compliance training requirements set forth by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, but in their own way. NABIP starts their certification cost at $100 as opposed to AHIP, which starts their training at $175. Whereas AHIP requires a 90% to pass, NABIP requires an 85% passing score. NABIP also allows exam takers to retake the exam at no additional charge and provides 8 CE credits for their training at no additional cost. Additionally, NABIP provides access to bonus content driven by a Medicare broker community advocating for the industry. Both AHIP and NABIP opened their 2024 Medicare trainings on June 21st, 2023.
Will carriers accept NABIP instead of AHIP certification?
It depends. As of June 23rd, 2023, NABIP has 40 carriers listed as accepting their 2024 certification. You can view the list of carriers who accept NABIP training with the link in our notes for this episode.
How much does NABIP Medicare certification cost?
$100. There are no hidden fees and no additional costs for the CE credits either.
Do I have to be a member of NABIP to complete this certification?
No. However, NABIP members do receive additional access to savings and professional resources.
How many questions is the NABIP final exam?
45 questions. The final exam compiles 15 questions per unit of study, or module as they call them, Medicare, Medicare Advantage, and compliance requirements.
How many attempts at the NABIP final exam do I get?
6. If you do not pass the NABIP certification test the first time, you can retake it 5 times at no additional charge. For additional attempts past that, you will be required to retake the entire course. NABIP does not upcharge for services supporting the exam taker's success.
What score do I need to pass?
85%. However, certain carriers may require otherwise.
Can I get a discounted price for NABIP Medicare certification?
NABIP has already discounted the program across the board, but remains open to partnership and member recruitment through their corporate partner program. This program offers incentive pricing and business solution opportunities.
Do I have to take the NABIP certification directly through their website?
Yes. Agents and brokers must take this training through NABIP's Online Learning Institute.
Is the NABIP MA certification exam an open book test?
It depends. Different states have different guidelines. You can find these specific guidelines for your state linked in the episode notes.
Is NABIP a timed test?
No. As long as agents are actively answering questions, the system will not time out. The system will time out if the exam is left to idle. This will require the exam taker to start over and count as an attempt.
How many modules are there in the course?
There are 3 interactive modules and a final exam. The first, the basics of Medicare and all parts. Second, Medicare marketing guidelines. And third, fraud, waste, and abuse.
Do I need to pass NABIP Medicare certification if I already passed last year?
Yes. Carriers require agents to complete some sort of Medicare certification and compliance training annually, since plans and regulations change from year to year. Additionally, many carriers require agents to complete extra plan-specific training with them every year to keep receiving renewal commissions.
Is there a deadline to pass this certification to sell in 2024?
Technically, yes. Medicare certification training is the initial step to completing most carrier certifications. So you won't be ready to sell any Medicare Advantage plans until you do so.
How can agents confirm their certification?
NABIP's learning management system sends an electronic certificate to agents and carriers.
Does NABIP Medicare certification count for CE credits?
Yes. It has been filed to count for 8 CE credits in all 50 states. You can check your state's approved CE hours in the notes.
That's it for the questions and answers.
Thanks, Tina. If you want to know more, NABIP's helpful Medicare Advantage certification training user guide is an essential resource that outlines how to create an account, purchase and access the training, and take the final exam in the Online Learning Institute.
Helpful indeed. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you have additional questions that we didn't cover, you can reach out to our team here at Ritter.
All of the links we mentioned will be in the notes, so be sure to check those out, and happy studying. We will see you next episode. The Agent Survival Guide podcast is a production of Ritter Insurance Marketing, an Integrity company. This episode was written by Roxanne Anderson. Recording and production by me, Sarah Ruppel. Additional recording by Tina Lamoureux. Podcast design by Urban Rivera. Artwork by Vivian Zhao. Follow along with our show wherever you like to listen.